Hey, what's up, guys? This is Mansplaining Mike. This is the Mansplaining Mike Show. And today we're going to take a look at what would happen to our freedoms under Kamala Harris and Tim Walz presidency and vice presidency. And I think you guys will be pretty surprised. Let's take a look at what Tim Walz has to say first, and then we'll get into a clip of Kamala Harris.
I think we need to push back on this. There's no guarantee to free speech on misinformation or hate speech, and especially around our democracy.
Well, damn, just take your First Amendment, throw it away, light it on fire. He doesn't even think that's important. You shouldn't have the right to talk back or the right to question your government, not according to Tim Walz anyway. What would give you the idea that you would have the right to question the government? Besides, that whole First Amendment that was written in the United States Constitution. And let's not forget that these guys swear an oath to protect our constitutional rights. And if that's their job, it seems like at least he's not very trustworthy so far. Let's see what we think about Kamala Harris and what she has to say about our freedoms.
Voters want to hear about issues affecting their lives, like the economy and the border. Should the campaign be pivoting on its messaging?
So there's no doubt that one of the first issues that anyone will think of is the issue they think of when they're at their kitchen table trying to pay their bills, which is how is the economy treating them? So there's no question whatsoever that that is an important issue, which we have been in the process of addressing, and we still need to do more. I would not separate that from the issue of what is at stake in terms of hard democracy. And frankly, I think most people don't think of it in the context of democracy as much as freedom. The freedom of a woman to make decisions about her own body. The freedom to love who you love openly and with pride. The freedom to be able to be free from gun violence. These are fundamental freedoms that are at stake right now. The freedom to have access to the ballot.
That was pretty jumbled up. Let's see what was the sense we can make of this. So it seems like she doesn't care too much about your Second Amendment, right? You can just toss that out. She'll probably do that with an executive order, from what I understand, in the first 100 days. But what did she say there? She said, we're going to guarantee you your rights, the right to abort babies. That's not a right. You don't have that type of freedom in this country. That's not like a choice that you get to make. You do get to make decisions about your own body. And we know the Democrats didn't seem to care too much about that when it came to the vaccine mandates. But we also have to take a look at, there's a heartbeat at 4 weeks of age. After 4 weeks, it's not your body, your choice. Now, maybe we should make exceptions for rape victims and stuff like that. People who are products of like incest. That stuff is important that we give those people time, or maybe a little extra time. But I mean, just for regular people, I mean, if you have unprotected sex, there's an opportunity that you might be pregnant. There's the opportunity for you to get the day after pill, which I still think is kind of like murder, because at the point that the sperm touches the egg, a baby's whole life is already pretty much decided, or at least a lot of it, like its eye color, whether or not it has the potential for obesity, male pattern baldness, what its potential IQ could be. So I mean, I think we have to look at the rights that they're guaranteeing as more of a right to get rid of a right. Like, we have a right and a guarantee to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. The first one being life, and you have to have a life before you can pursue happiness. So stopping the life from even being able to exist, it would be against the constitutional rights guaranteed to us, if you want to be technical. Now, I do think that there should be, like I said, exceptions for rape and all of that. I think Donald Trump wanted that too. So this idea that people's abortion rights are in question, you never had abortion rights. It's not guaranteed to you anywhere in the Constitution. But the Second Amendment, which she seems to not care about at all, that is guaranteed to you. There is no guarantee that you won't ever come across gun violence. But there is guarantees that you'll be able to protect yourself from gun violence by having your own gun. So make sure to participate in your Second Amendment if you're worried about gun violence. Learn how to use and handle the gun, and then you won't have to be as scared of your neighbors and stuff like that. And then let's take a look at what else these guys want to do, because I've heard them a lot of the time talking about the right likes to promote violence, but I have video proof of the left promoting violence while they're trying to get rid of your guns, and I think that's even more dangerous. So let's take a look at that, how they want to take your guns and how they want to commit violence at the same time. You saw how they wanted to take your guns, so this is the violence part.
I just don't even know why there aren't uprisings all over the country, and maybe there will be.
People need to start taking to the streets. This is a dictator.
You know, there needs to be unrest in the streets for as long as there's unrest in our lives.
Enemies of the state.
Show me where it says that protests are supposed to be polite and peaceful.
Do something about your dad's immigration practices, you feckless.
When they go low, we kick them.
How do you resist the temptation to run up and wring her neck?
The biggest terror threat in this country is white men, most of them radicalized right up to the right.
I thought he should have punched him in the face. I said, even if you lost, he insulted your wife.
Yes.
He came down the escalator and called Mexicans rapists and murderers. He said, well, what do you think I should have done? I said, I think you should have punched him in the face and then gotten out of the race. You would have been a hero.
I'd like to punch him in the face. I said if we were in high school, I'd take him behind the gym and beat the hell out of him.
Punch some people in the face!
When was the last time an actor assassinated a president?
They're still going to have to go out and put a bullet in Donald Trump, and that's a fact.
Look as his character is stabbed to death.
Where is John Wilkes Booth when you need him?
I have thought an awful lot about blowing up the White House.
A Missouri state senator is under investigation by the Secret Service after saying she hopes President Trump is assassinated.
I will go and take Trump out tonight.
And if you see anybody from that cabinet in a restaurant, in a department store, at a gasoline station, you get out and you create a crowd. And you push back on them. And you tell them they're not welcome anymore, anywhere.
And sadly, the domestic enemies to our voting system and our honoring our Constitution are right at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue.
They're not going to stop before Election Day in November, and they're not going to stop after Election Day. And that should be, everyone should take note of that on both levels, that this isn't, they're not going to let up, and they should not.
If you think we're rallying now, you ain't seen nothing yet.
Well, there you have it. They want to abort babies and attack people and take your guns away too. I mean, these are the people who want to take your guns away. They're lunatics who want to attack you, and all they can ever think about is aborting babies. And I'm not talking about, like I said, with the exception rule or anything like that. They want to abort all babies up until the day that that baby is born. And I've heard rumors that in some states they want to take it even further than that, but I'm not going to talk about those rumors. I'm going to talk about what's going on in Tim Walz' community and where he was governor of and what kind of laws he signed into effect. Like the right to abort a baby in the 9th month, like the day before it's supposed to be born. And they think that's all right. They're going to protect you, though, by taking away your guns. The people who want to abort babies and attack you.
Good evening. Minnesota is now one of the first states to expand abortion protections after the fall of Roe v. Wade.
The governor putting it in writing today. Political reporter Theo Keith is at the Capitol. And so, Theo, this law guarantees a fundamental right to an abortion.
Yeah, the law takes effect tomorrow, and it will make it harder for a court to roll back Minnesota's existing abortion protections. Democrats say they have a mandate from voters to do this, but Republicans think the DFL went too far. Governor Tim Walz caps a 4-week sprint to guarantee abortion access in state law. It was the Democrats' top priority after taking control of state government this month.
Fundamentally, this legislation is about who decides.
Abortion is already a protected right in Minnesota because of a 3-decade-old state Supreme Court decision. Democrats see this law as a backstop in case the court ever...
Well, there you have it. No rights left. No rights to life. No rights to freedom of speech. No gun rights. The only thing you'll have the right to do is to kill your own kids before they're born. You'll have the right to abort them. And that's supposed to be something great. And you'll be able to do it all the way up and until the end of the 9th month. Up until the last day. The last hour, probably. They wouldn't care if it was the last hour. They'll take that baby's life. But they want you to give them your guns because they're showing you how much they care about life and how much they want to keep you alive. And also, you have no right to question the government anymore as long as they're elected. You might as well take your First Amendment, toss it out. Take your Second Amendment, toss it out. None of that is important. And they're going to get us into endless wars and spend all of our money without our permission as well. Well, all right, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. I hope you guys get a better understanding of what Kamala Harris and Tim Walz want to bring to us in this situation. And I hope you guys vote for Donald Trump in 2024. This was the Mansplaining Mike Show. I'm Mansplaining Mike, and I hope to catch you guys on the next one.